This video is going to cover the SunEarth Solar Water Heating System. It's going to be a general overview if you ever want to perform your own maintenance. So above, you'll see some supply lines. Highlighted in blue is the cold water supply line, which is bringing that cold water into the water heater tank. So that red shutoff valve, that's where you're going to close that off if you ever need to perform maintenance for whatever reason. You got one line goes straight into the tank and another line that comes to the tempering valve, which mixes with the hot water outlet. This tempering valve allows you to adjust the hot water that is going into your house. So if you want your water to be a little warmer or a little colder, you could adjust it there. So that thermometer on that hot water outlet is actually just saying what the temperature is going to the house, not necessarily the temperature inside the tank. And once you remove that cover on your tempering valve, you'll see how you can adjust it. In my situation, I have a special key that I have to use. And also in my case, it seems like maybe the O-ring in there got unseated a little bit during an adjustment. It's not leaking too bad, so I'm not too worried about it, but keep that in mind. It may happen to you as well. So right here, we're going to look at where you would replace the anode rod. It should be replaced every 3 to 6 years. How it works is it attracts all the corrosive elements inside the water and sacrifices itself to prevent that buildup within your tank. There's also this relief valve, which if I were to pick that vertically up, it would send water out through this line that just comes straight outside of the tank. How it's supposed to work is if the pressure inside the tank gets too great, then it'll automatically relieve, preventing a possible explosion. Now, this solar water heater isn't actually solar powered. It is connected to the circuit breaker via that junction box you see on the wall. So when the gold line differential, the yellow box, has power from the house, this one light will be on. That doesn't mean that the solar collector is giving it power. What this is doing is it is assessing the temperature within the water tank and the solar collector on the roof. If there's a difference of like 10 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit between the water heater tank and the solar collector on the roof, this differential controller is going to turn on the pump, which is then going to circulate hot water from the tank up to the solar collector on the roof, or from the solar collector on the roof, move that hot water from there down to the water heater tank. And the pump is going to continue to run until the water temperature within the tank and in the solar collector on the roof are within that 10 to 12 degree range of each other. Now, this little gray box, its whole purpose is to turn off the water heating element within the tank. That way you're not using power and only relying on the solar collector on the roof. There's instructions on the door of that little gray box. On the bottom of the tank, you'll find the drain valve, which is where you're going to hook up a hose to conduct the annual flushing of the tank. Right above where you connect the hose at, you'll find the shutoff valve. You want to make sure that that is closed anytime you're going to connect or disconnect the hose or that cap. I use some joint pliers and then I pocket hose when I perform this maintenance. Also, you're going to find these other shutoff valves. So that line is coming from the solar collector on the roof. So if I wanted to drain the entire system, I'd leave that open. And then this other shutoff valve that my hand is currently on is going from the tank to the pump and then up to the solar collector. So this water heater system uses a single heating element. If you ever need to remove it, it's going to require a 1.5-inch hex socket. It's a fairly cheap tool. You can get it on Amazon. But in order to get to that heating element, you're going to have to take off this panel. But before you do that, please make sure that you turn off the power at your circuit breaker. It is high voltage. So you want to make sure that there's no power going to it when you start digging around. After the insulation has been removed, you'll see this plastic guard. And with that guard on, the only thing you're going to be able to see is this temperature dial where you can adjust the temperature of the water inside the tank. I have mine set for 130 degrees Fahrenheit. If the water were ever exceed that, the thermostat would open the circuit and disconnect power to this water heating element, which, as you can see, this heating element was pretty corroded. So I ended up cleaning it after this video. But that's it. Yeah, this was the general overview of the SunEarth water heater tank. I hope you learned something. If you did, throw it a thumbs up, put a comment down below, and check out my other videos.